Hello, Bob.
Hi, Frank. Hi, Lou. Oh, Joe.
Go.
Joe.
Go.
Hi, Joe.
All right, you hear me, Rick? Mayor, you hear me?
I don't even see him.
Light on means you're on.
Well, yeah, we're seeing that's going. Can you hear me? Jason, I'm sorry. Is Lou?
He's not connected yet?
No.
Is he connected?
It says choose one of the audio.
Yep, I hear you. Yep, I see Joe Delaney's curtains. Tom Dutch laughing at me. I see he got a new refrigerator.
Thank you.
All right, goodbye.
We're set, Jason?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, the mayor's called the meeting to order. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya.
Here.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
Here.
Councilmember Erin Delaney. She's here. Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney. Where'd he go? He's here.
Go ahead.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Here.
Okay,
Do I gotta press this button or am I all good?
Just push it once. And then one.
we have a quorum present for this regular meeting of the Garfield City Council, which is being held today, which is Tuesday, November the 10th, 2020. This meeting is being held in accordance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act and under guidelines set forth by the New Jersey Division of Local Government Services in an email dated March 12, 2020, and in accordance with Executive Order 104 issued by Governor Phil Murphy, and in accordance with Local Finance Notice number 2020-21, issued September 24, 2020, for remote public meetings being held during a declared emergency. Adequate notice has been provided by mail, fax, and email to the official city newspapers and to other interested parties, and by posting the meeting notice on the bulletin boards in City Hall and on the front and back doors of City Hall and on the city website. Special public notice was published in the November 7th, 2020 editions of the Bergen Record and Herald News newspapers, advising of this meeting being held remotely, and the public was also directed to the city website for guidance in order to listen and watch and participate. These actions have been taken to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the people of Garfield due to the coronavirus pandemic. If everyone would please rise, we'd like to begin with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everyone could please remain standing. During this time of year when we normally commemorate Veterans Day, we'd ask for a moment of silent reflection in honor and in memory of all our men and women in uniform, and especially those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in defense of all the freedoms we hold so dear. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Pursuant to local finance notice 2020-21, the following announcement has to be made. All participants are muted during this meeting. Members wishing to make a comment during this remote meeting will be permitted to do so using the audio and/or video technology under which this remote meeting is being held. Members of the public may submit written comments to the mayor and city council through the city clerk by either email to apavlicka@garfieldnj.org or a written letter to City Clerk Andrew J. Pavlicka at City Hall, 111 Outwater Lane, Garfield, New Jersey, 07026. Written comments must be received by 12 noon of the day of the remote meeting to be included in the meeting. Public comments will be read aloud along with the person's name and address during times designated during the meeting for public participation. The mayor and council reserve the right to pass over duplicative written comments. However, each duplicative comment shall be noted for the record with content summarized. A member of the public wishing to speak during a remote meeting shall state their name and address for the record prior to making their comments and will be limited to 3 minutes. Members of the public commenting during a remote meeting shall not act in any manner to disrupt the meeting. If such a member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the individual chairing the meeting shall mute or direct the muting of the disruptive member and warn that any continued disruption may result in the member being prevented from speaking during the meeting or be removed from the remote meeting. Disruptive conduct include, but is not limited to, sustained inappropriate behaviors such as shouting, interruption, and the use of profanity. Any member who continues to be disruptive after receiving a warning may be muted while other members of the public are allowed to proceed with their comments. If time permits, the disruptive individual shall be allowed to speak after all other members of the public are provided an opportunity to comment. Should the individual remain disruptive, the individual may be muted or kept on mute for the remainder of the remote meeting or removed from the meeting. And also, any reasonable procedure or rule determined by the mayor or chair to effectively chair the meeting will be put into effect.
All right, thank you, Drew. What we're going to put into effect is we'll still have our 3 minutes for our taxpayers and residents if they'd like to talk, and we'll do 6 minutes for our council if they'd like to speak at the end when it's council comments. We'll continue with that. And please do not comment on the resolutions. Just make your vote. You can comment afterwards. For the coronavirus update, as of today, Garfield has 30 positive COVID cases, 171 in the month of November. We have 1,269 positive cases since March 2020. In the month of October, we've had 165. So in the 10 days, we have 171 cases. You know, following the weeks at a COVID-19 high alert, we're at the beginning of a second wave. This means that we must change our behavior immediately, or there has to be difficult situations and decisions need to be made for the health of our residents and city employees, because every indicator throughout the county is that the county's positive rate has been going up, not just the city of Garfield, but the county's positive rate has been going up since the month of May, and it's only going to continue to rise through the winter. Without following the guidelines and procedure, there is no feasible way to get our city, local economy, and our schools close to normal if everyone is continuing to get sick. Remember, the holiday season's upon us, and there will be holiday parties, gathering with friends, co-workers, and family. It is our responsibility to keep yourself, it's your responsibility to keep yourself safe, as well as your family, friends, and co-workers. So if you are feeling sick, please stay home, wear a mask when in public, keep your distance, and wash your hands often, and try to avoid large groups through these holiday events and gatherings. just keep everybody in their prayers who are sick or anybody who's passed away. Right now, it is just, we're still at 2 deaths. Am I correct? We're still at 2 deaths for November, and just everybody stay safe. That's all with the coronavirus update. City manager's report, Tom?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. A couple of these things I've already sent notice to the mayor and council, but I think it's worth it for the public to hear some of these things that have happened. I'm happy to announce that the Library Construction Bond Act grant that we have received an award of $130,500. The city will need to match in next year's budget $130,500. This will provide for ADA improvements to the bathrooms in the basement and will also provide for necessary asbestos abatement. So thank you, for our library staff for working on that grant with us. At the last meeting, there was a complaint about the culvert on Market Street. I'm happy to report that Mr. Garofalo and I met. When that site was dug up, Boswell Engineering had a representative there. That culvert has been repaired. 2 pictures were sent to the governing body earlier today. The conditions previously were deplorable. The conditions at that culvert are excellent. We really lucked out. The culvert was not collapsed underneath. So we were able to just repair, put in 2 new catch basins, and repair the sidewalk. You'll see it in your photographs. It looks absolutely excellent. So I want to thank everyone for working to get that done so quickly. I set up a dispatch protocol for the DPW. There was no existing written protocol. I had a telephone conference with Chief Kovach, Deputy Chief Palanque, and DPW Superintendent Sam Garofalo. Following that telephone conversation, I issued a directive that the call-in after hours would be Mr. Garofalo first, Mr. Rick Cangelosi second, Acting Supervisor Jack Healy third, and fourth would be myself. So that dispatch protocol has been distributed and implemented. 20th Century Fieldhouse. You will note that it seems that whenever someone drives a vehicle around the 20th Century Fieldhouse, they seem to hit the gutters on the corners. We've been fixing gutters for far too often. So I met with Mr. Garofalo up at the site. I directed the installation of bollards at each corner of the building where the gutters continually get hit. And those bollards, Mr. Garofalo has advised, are being installed. And again, that was in conjunction with Boswell Engineering with our current road paving program. For the members of the public and the members of the governing body, we continue to improve our buildings, to work on our buildings to improve safety. We are putting together additional purchase packages for submission to the county under the CARES Act for reimbursement of pandemic-related upgrades. And you've heard me say this at prior meetings before. It's touchless light fixtures, touchless faucets, touchless dispensers of sanitizer, touchless dispensers of soaps. It's camera upgrades to the buildings. So I'm happy to report to the governing body that we continue to aggressively pursue reimbursement. And to date, we have received reimbursement under the CARES Act totaling $277,235. We continue to work on the upgrades to the software in the City Hall. And we are right now, Mr. Rigatano is reviewing 3 proposals for new computer desktops and laptops. The plan is that right now we have all Windows 7. They're out of date. They will be updated and we will have the ability to conduct business either by desktop or by laptop. Right now, there's very limited access to conduct business by laptop. If this situation, God forbid, should get worse, we want to have this in place, and it is all reimbursable under the CARES Act. The other thing that's reimbursable under the CARES Act, we have undertaken a cybersecurity audit of all of our computer systems to make sure that we are safe from outside interference. With regard to the Bergen County Open Space Trust Advisory Committee, their meeting will be on December 10th. I plan on being at that meeting. It is a Zoom meeting. There will be 2 Garfield projects that will be on the agenda for final approval. Project 1 is the purchase of the Franchini Garage at 133 River Drive. And we have sought and presented for a $250,000 grant towards the purchase of that property. The second project that will be before the committee is the Jewel Street Playground, and that's the removal of all the wood chips and installation of rubberized playground surfaces in that entire park. The total price for that, the total grant sought, $195,963. In terms of the community development block grant, we still have time to make our decision. We don't need to file. Our application is due January 29th. But I had previously suggested we consider drainage in the Market Street area, stairs on either side of Schley Street, going down to Cedar Street and to Palisade Ave, and also starting to do Fleischer's Brook culvert repairs in the 4th Ward area where there are difficulties. So those are some of the things that are currently underway. There is a resolution that you have this evening that I asked Mr. Boswell to prepare. You all are aware that we received a TAPS grant, Transportation Alternatives grant, of $1,150,000 for Passaic Street streetscape improvements, which will begin in the spring. But because of our success with the Safe Routes to Schools projects at school number 4 and school number 9, we again have the opportunity to apply for additional TAPS grant funding. Mr. Boswell and I put in the application using Millennium Strategies to begin phase 3 of the Riverfront Park project. So phase 2 is the riverfront between Passaic Street and Monroe Street. Phase 3 is Passaic Street running south towards Wallington. First parcel of land is owned by the county. The second parcel of land is owned by the Ryback family. The third parcel of land is owned by Passaic Valley Sewage. And the fourth parcel is the Franchini Garage, which we spoke about earlier. So that would allow us to enhance the riverfront along that area. So there's a resolution before you this evening. We plan on applying for the full $1 million. We anticipate that of that money, I already told you that the Franchini property, we were looking at a $500,000 appraisal. $250,000 we're seeking from Bergen County Open Space Trust. This will allow us to seek $250,000 from the TAPS program, $150,000 or thereabouts for the purchase of the Ryback property, and the balance to be used towards construction in that area. So I ask your support of that resolution this evening. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a question on this report, please.
Go ahead, Frank.
Okay, first of all, that's good work on Market Street with the culvert. I'd like to thank Mr. Ed Devine for bringing that to our attention and pushing for that. And Tom, you sent an email just telling everyone to just buy what's necessary. How bad are we doing financially with the court revenue being down? And how far down are we with the court revenue?
Okay, so the court revenue is down $465,000 estimated. I had previously indicated, I think 2 meetings ago or 3 meetings ago, that the projected deficit till the end of the year was $850,000. I also indicated at that meeting that I would not fill the recreation director's position this year, nor would I appoint 3 more police officers, nor would I appoint 3 more DPW people or replace DPW people who had retired. So that savings amounts to about $450,000. That leaves a balance of $400,000, which we continue to work on a daily basis. Mr. Rigatano and I met on, I guess it was last Friday, and he provided me with his analysis. I took his analysis, sent it to Mr. Lurch. Mr. Lurch, Mr. Rigatano, and I will meet the end of this week, and we plan on doing a presentation to the governing body at the meeting on November 24th, giving you better numbers and also how we will deal with this. The state is allowing municipalities to go out and to borrow and then to repay back over a 5-year period. The council has been very good, though, in the past with allowing me to accumulate the surplus and to keep the surplus. So I expect to come before you with some kind of a recommendation to apply some of that surplus. As I indicated in my email to the governing body, in my directive to the department heads, my goal here is simply to keep everyone working. There are a number of people who have taken advantage of family leave due to children returning to school or children needing direction at home so that they can learn remotely. We have been absolutely, totally, completely gracious in granting that family leave immediately when requested by our employees.
Tom, one last question. The zoning board, have they resumed their meetings yet, or what's their status?
I don't know that. Mr. Conti, I had spoken to, I guess probably about a month ago, and I had asked him to get on board with remote meetings, and I had asked him to reach out to our technology people for assistance. I'm not certain what the status is. I have not followed up with Mr. Conti since that phone call.
All right, thank you.
All right. Our city manager's report. He submitted his report in writing, and we'll just go over that at our next meeting. Is there anything else? No? Fantastic. Drew, can you go over how things are certified?
Okay, the mayor's asked me this question, and that is, election day was Tuesday, November 3rd, which was the deadline for the for people who had to vote provisionally. Vote by mail ballots that are postmarked by November 3rd are being received by the county. They are being counted as long as they are postmarked by November 3rd up to, I believe, today or tomorrow. From those that are received, the county is doing a count. Once all the vote by mail ballots are counted by the county, they can then proceed with the provisional ballots that were made on election day. The deadline for the certification of the ballots that were cast in Garfield, which includes president and all the other federal, state, county offices, and also for city council. So the deadline is Friday, November 20th. So on that date, I expect to get a final certification from the county, and obviously everyone will be advised of what the results are.
Thank you, Drew. Resolutions.
Okay. Mayor, just one question for the city clerk.
Sure.
Drew, how many provisional ballots do they estimate are out there?
I think 1,100. I mean, don't hold me to that number, but it's to give you an idea. I'm pretty sure it's about 1,100.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Resolution, please.
Okay, the very first resolution is one which appoints Ed Dolak as a constable. Wait a second.
256.
It's in, yeah, there we go. The very first resolution is one which appoints Robert Ritterick as a constable for the city of Garfield. The resolution is signed by council members Aaron Delaney, Richard Rigoloso, and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, council member Aloya. This is for the year 2021. Did we lose council member Aloya?
Okay, go to Councilman Calandrello.
Council member Calandrillo.
Aye.
Council member Aaron Delaney.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney. I know he's there. I see him.
He says aye.
He says
You
aye.
got unmute, but I can read his lips. Thank you.
Aye.
Okay, Mayor Rigoloso.
That button usually works. Aye.
Okay, the resolution is approved. Next one is one which appoints Edward Dolak as a constable for the city of Garfield for the year 2021. The resolution is signed by council members Aaron Delaney, Rigoloso, and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, council member Aloya, still not on yet. Council member Calandrillo,
Aye.
council member Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, the resolution is approved. The next resolution is one which appoints Robert Cochran as a constable for the year 2021. The resolution is signed by council members Aaron Delaney, Rigoloso, and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya. Did we regain him? No.
Yeah.
Councilmember Calendrillo.
No.
He said no, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, he said no.
got it. Councilmember Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney.
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, the resolution passes. The next resolution is one of support from the local governing body, which is the City of Garfield City Council, authorizing an application to the Sustainable Jersey Grants Program. It's for $20,000 Gardner Environmental Fund. The resolution is signed by council members Aaron Delaney, Rigoloso, and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya,
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Me.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Resolution is approved. Next resolution is one which authorizes a refund of overpaid taxes due to a tax court judgment. The resolution is signed by council members Aaron Delaney, Rigoloso, and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya,
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Resolution is adopted. We have another resolution which authorizes a refund of overpaid taxes due to a tax court judgment. It's signed by council members Aaron Delaney, Rigoloso, and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya,
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Resolution is approved. Next resolution is one authorizing payment to DS Meyer Enterprises for emergency water repair work on Washington Place near Passaic Street. The resolution is signed by council members Rigoloso and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya,
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Resolution is approved. The next resolution is one which is for an approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the River Drive Bikeway and Walkway Project Phase 3. And this is the resolution that the city manager was talking about earlier. We have the resolution signed by council members Rigoloso and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya,
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. And the final resolution we have, once again, upon the recommendation of the city manager, it's a resolution of the City of Garfield to adopt procedure for administration and inspection of federal and highway projects. The resolution is signed by council members Rigoloso and Joseph Delaney. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya,
Aye.
Councilmember Calendrillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Resolutions are approved.
Bills and claims.
Okay, resolved by the City Council of the City of Garfield that the following bills, number 2257, covering dedicated penalty trust fire department account totaling $1,950.00, and the current fund reserve totaling $3,238.81, and the current fund totaling $124,041.42, and water fund, current fund totaling $136,612.20, and the general capital fund totaling $25,891.48, and the water capital fund totaling $5,648.00 per attached computer list, dated November 6, 2020, be ordered paid, and the proper officers are hereby authorized to issue checks for same, provided that there are funds in the respective appropriations. And be it further resolved that the action of the mayor, city clerk, and city treasurer in issuing checks in payment on the ratification list, which includes 9 items prior to the meeting be ratified. Bills and claims resolution is offered by council members Aaron Delaney and Rigoloso. On the roll call, Councilmember Aloya,
Aye.
Councilmember Calandrillo,
Aye.
Councilmember Aaron Delaney,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Joseph Delaney,
Aye.
Mayor Rigoloso.
Aye.
Okay, we have 5 ayes. Bills and claims are approved. The ordinance on the agenda is being held, so that concludes all written items for voting
All right,
at this
citizens,
time. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council.
Okay, citizens and taxpayers, is there anybody in?
Raise hand or cross.
You have to raise your hand if you want to speak. Anybody? Okay, we're going to close it. The citizens and taxpayers, we're going to open the council comments. Councilman Calandrello.
I think Mr. Aloya goes first.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Mr. Aloy, Councilman Aloy, apologize.
That's all right, Mayor, no problem. Even my computer does those things. Just did it a few moments ago, just like to shut off. First and foremost, I want to thank all the people that participated in the last election. I want to thank my wife Rosemary and all of my kids and my family for all the support they've given me on all the campaigns that we've done and the election that we have. I want to thank Frank Calandrillo and his entire family, Evelyn Scott and her family, Jesus Rodriguez and their family. I want to thank all of our supporters for the past 24 plus years, some new, some old that have never left us, and some that have joined in. We really are very grateful, and to all of the voters here in Garfield. You hate to start reading off names because you always forget someone, and that's too hurtful. I want to thank our city manager, Mr. Dutch, and all the people that work for the city of Garfield for their outstanding service, their cooperation, their understanding. Dealing with me sometimes isn't the easiest. Hopefully it wasn't the hardest. To Mayor Riggs, Joe Delaney, Aaron, Paul, and Romy, I want to congratulate you on your election. I just really cherish the city of Garfield, and I am sure that it will prosper in many, many ways. But the only thing that I do want to remind Mr. Dutch is, let's not forget that fence on Monroe Street. I just don't want anybody getting hurt. I know you got a lot on the plate, but that's one of the key issues. To all our professionals, I want to thank them all. And to all our supporters and voters, again, thank you. To my family and all of yours. It was a great time, and I really do appreciate everyone's understanding, cooperation during the election times. God bless Garfield. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Aloy. Councilman Calandrello.
Yes, I just want to bring out a few points of things I observed on election day. And I didn't make Mr. Pavlicka aware of it because I think it's important. And I think it's important that these type of things don't go on in the future. And one of them was we had a poll worker who was actually given wrong instruction on the municipal ballot. The comments that were given by this poll worker was take 1 from each column, which was totally incorrect. But Mr. Pavlicka did address it. The county addressed it, and for just for the future, I think the proper training needs to be really given because false instruction leads to an election that maybe that doesn't get communicated properly. And there was also another poll worker that was actually giving instruction in a nonpartisan election as to what parties candidates were associated with. And there again, nonpartisan election. I've talked to a few people, and that's something that really shouldn't happen. So hopefully in the future, our poll workers will fully understand what type of election it is. They will fully understand that nonpartisan actually is nonpartisan, and that you really didn't have to pick 1 from each column. You really were taking 5 candidates from the 11. I want to, obviously the election is not officially over, and I'll reserve some of my comments for when that happens. But I just want to thank my running mates, Jesus Rodriguez, Evelyn Scott, Lou Aloya, and the team, We Are Garfield. You know, it was a great experience, and when you see a great amount of voters turn out, that's the true democratic process. Whatever happens when the final numbers are given, I will gladly give my comments then. But with that being said, you know, tomorrow is Veterans Day, and having my father, my grandfathers, my uncles all serving in the war, World War II, and one in actually World War I. I just want to observe the veterans. Tomorrow there's a ceremony, I believe at 11 o'clock in front of the VFW. And I just want to give my sincere thanks to our veterans in the city of Garfield and those throughout the country. Without our veterans, we would not have elections like we just had on November the 3rd. So my love and my sincere thanks goes to the veterans and their families. And with that being said, Mayor, you know, last week I went over 5 minutes. I wasn't even prepared for 5 minutes because it was never said to me. But, you know, I was muted. And, you know, that's your choice to mute an official. But I think, you know, I think a little more courtesy has to be given. Because when you mute me, you sure, you may have feelings towards me, but I represent the public and I represented the public. And I think I deserve to at least be given, okay, Frank, wrap it up. Frank, you're over your 5 minutes. But to just mute me like that, I think was just a total disrespect to a 24-year official, or whether I was 24 years or 1 year, just to a city elected official and to the public. So it's just my perspective on what transpired at the last meeting. So with that, I thank everyone for listening, and I wish everyone a good night. And please stay safe. The COVID numbers are rising. Let's be hopeful and pray that this will not be as severe as the first round. You know, we got good news today as far as having an antidote and treatments. So let's just keep our prayers for those who are affected. Let's keep our prayers that people do not hit the numbers that we seen going from March right through the summer. And with that being said, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Carangelo. Councilwoman Delaney.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to quickly note that I too was muted at the last meeting. I personally, you know, I didn't take it personal. I did hear you make that announcement at the beginning of the meeting, which is why I was speaking rather quickly at that time. But Mayor, I did hear you, and I respect whatever decisions that you make as mayor. As the city clerk mentioned, and as Mr. Aloya mentioned, the election will not be certified until November 20th. So I too am going to reserve most of my comments until that day. But to those voters that did vote for me, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for your support and for having faith in me, because that's what, you know, that's what you're saying by casting that vote. So, I did have, you know, some concerns were mentioned. I just wanted to quickly note that the one concern that I know of is with the behavior of certain candidates on election day. So hopefully during the next election, that is something that can change, because that was definitely disheartening. But on to better news. I just want to give kudos. I know back in August, I sent a picture of the culvert on Market Street, and that was about the same time Mr. Devine reached out, at least to me. I know that he might have mentioned out previously, so I'm so happy that that got done. I just looked at the pictures and it looks amazing and 10 times better than the condition that it was. I was also happy to see about the rubberized surface at the ADA playground being installed today, so I'm glad to see that moving along, and very good news in regards to the library bond, construction bond. As it was mentioned, I just want to thank all of those veterans that served our wonderful, amazing country, including both my grandfathers and everyone else. And I look forward to participating in tomorrow's ceremony. Hopefully the rain holds out for us. And last but not least, you know, the second wave is coming, and, you know, we're talking about the city's financial standings. And at a meeting in September, I actually was going through some of my stuff. I had our numbers here and I had recommended perhaps a court debt collection agency. And I was happy to see that the city manager followed up on that today. So if we could stay on top of that, I've heard very good things from other communities. And from what I understand, it's, there's no cost to the city, and it might even help alleviate some of the work from the court department. But with that being said, I also just want to ask that we keep an eye on overtime, just because we anticipate perhaps getting reimbursed. I just don't feel that we should spend money just because of that reason. And, it was brought to my attention that overtime was scheduled on a day for training when people had planned vacation time. So if our department heads and whoever schedules overtime can just be a little bit more cautious when they schedule trainings to avoid overtime rather than creating overtime, especially when we're in this financial crisis. And that's just, just being fiscally responsible is all that I ask. And, I saw Tom's email too, and I'm sure that things will be fine and he has everything under control, but just something that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. So with that being said, have a great night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Deputy Mayor Delaney.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, great. Hey, first, Tom, great work with all the grants that we're getting. We can never have enough grants, and that's just great news. I mean, one thing that we could definitely use more of is grants, and I'm glad we're not stopping that. It was also good to see some sort of Halloween in the city. I know I had some kids trick-or-treating by my house, and I seen them going around in costumes with their parents, and they were, socially distanced, but it was good that we had something, especially for the kids. I was happy with that. I'd like to wish all veterans and their families a happy Veterans Day. And I would love to be at the ceremony tomorrow, but I do have work, so I won't be able to make it. So if who's ever there, please send my apologies because of work. And with regards to the election, it is, too soon to say anything about it really. But I would like to say thank you to everyone who voted in the election, whether you voted for me or not, but to take the time out of your day to vote. Very important. And thanks to all the candidates who did take time away from their families to run for city council. The only thing that did disturb me was, certain challengers were in the polling places, and with them they had literature of candidates that they were supporting, which is actually it's against the law. So if you're going to be a challenger, be a challenger. Easy as that. Do not be a promoter for your team when you're in the polling place. Definitely against the law. So Drew, I would appreciate if you definitely remind all candidates, if they have challengers in polling places, please do not bring your literature into the polling place. With that, everybody have a happy 24 and see you soon.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Okay, first of all, there are still 1,300 to 1,500 votes out there that need to be counted, so I'm going to reserve my comments until everything is certified. I do want to thank all the candidates who did run. I know it wasn't an easy election. It was a contentious election, and listen, you ran, and it's much appreciated. Some Councilman Calangelo, Councilman Lawyer, ourselves, we got involved, we're elected officials, and then there are other people who weren't elected officials and ran. And it's appreciated because, again, it's just a difference in philosophy and how we see the city to be run. And it's appreciation on my end that, hearing everybody's comments on it. But there's still 1,300 to 1,500 votes out there. Frank and Aaron, didn't mean to disrespect either of you when I shut you guys down at 5 minutes. I just didn't want to hear the rhetoric of the election after, 5 minutes, because that's what it seemed like our meetings were going to. Someone says something, we rebuttal and everything like that. So, if you felt disrespected, I do apologize to both of you. I have no feelings one way or the other. I like everybody. We just have different opinions, and we express ourselves. It's good to hear about the library grant. The library is always trying to update themselves, and they've been closed for a while, but it is good to know that the library grant got that, and thanks, Tom, for that. I had a couple of things written down, but I'm just gonna hold off on that. The COVID, the second wave is here. I know I gave that report, and it's gonna get serious. And I hope the city of Garfield. I know people, we're a congested little town or city, and families. Some of the data that we've been getting, I didn't go over the data, but some of the data we're getting, it's families are being hit. So one person gets it, everybody in that family get it. And, from some of the reports that we got, and I'll just give an example. I know on one day when there was like 18 people that got it, 3 of them were family members that equaled out to be 12, So, it's important that we take precautions on this COVID, because unfortunately, the governor is shutting down, the restaurants again at 10 o'clock, and, sports may be canceled in the winter. Interstate sports is canceled, basketball, wrestling. These are, this is the only outlet for some of our kids, for some of our residents. And unfortunately, it may, if things don't change, it may get shut down. And then our restaurants, they've been taking a hit all year. And now finally, when they finally opened up, now it gets cold, so you can't stay outside. And now the restaurants got to give last call at 9:30 or 9 o'clock. Some of these restaurants, every hour can mean the difference of them staying open or closing down for good. So, I hope things change fast for our economy, for our local economy, for our small businesses, because, our city thrives with our small businesses, and I hope things do change. With that said, I hope everybody has an enjoyable week, and whoever's at the Veterans Day tomorrow, I'll see you there. If not, everybody enjoy your Veterans Day if you're off, and meeting adjourned. Okay. Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by,
I'll second
Okay.
the motion.
and seconded by Councilmember Calangelo. All in favor, please say aye.